Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are going to be doing the part-time YouTuber tag. So I'm not sure who originated this tag, but the one I watched was from Teresa is Dead. So make sure you check out her video if you have not already. And my friend Bethany's coming over for lunch. We're just gonna hang out, have some Chipotle, play with the cats, catch up, all of that fun stuff. So I figured I would get ready and do this look while I answered the questions of the tag. So if you like tags, you just like makeup, you want to hang out, you're new to the channel or old, you might learn some new things, I'm not sure, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you've not already, please click that subscribe button. I upload 2 videos a week on Wednesdays and Sundays. It is totally free to subscribe, and I've been doing giveaways every 50 subscribers. I just had one that ended, but when I hit 350 subscribers, I will be doing another one and you won't want to miss out. All right, let's go ahead and get into the video and get into this look and of course the questions of the tag. So I will list the products down in the description below so that I can focus on answering the tag questions as I get ready here. But the first question is, what is your main gig? And this is kind of a multiple part question. So that's the first part of the question. My main gig, for those of you that don't know, is that I am full-time a teacher at a public school. Do I work full-time? Yes. The question also asks, am I a student? So I'm not a student right now. It's actually been about 1 year since I was a student. I was in graduate school getting my master's degree and I just graduated last December with that. So I'm not a student right now. I've kind of toyed around with the idea of whether I would like to get my doctorate or not. So I might be a student again at some point, but right now, no, I'm not a student. I'm also not a parent, unless you count 3 little cat babies. I have 2 boys and a girl. The girl's a calico. Her name is Adelaide. She is 4. She's the first cat I got. Then we got Salem. He is a black cat. And most recently, if you follow my channel, I got Garfield, who is an 8-year-old orange tabby. The second question is, what made you want to start YouTube? All right, so I have now been on YouTube for, I think, 2.5 years. I've made, I know, over 150 videos that I've uploaded to this channel. And I basically just became in college more interested in makeup. And then once I graduated college and got my first real full-time job, I could actually afford some of the things that I had seen in magazines or on other people's YouTube channels and became even more of a makeup enthusiast. And eventually, I know, maybe in like 2018, about a year before I started my channel, I was just really watching and enjoying a lot of other makeup content creators. And I was dating Wesley, my fiance, at that point, and I remember him saying like, I think you could do that. And I had said that too, like, I feel like I could talk about products and like I know enough about makeup that I could contribute something, you know. I'm an educator full-time, but I also felt like I could part-time educate about a different topic, you know, outside of school. So eventually I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. For a long time, like many people, I struggled with like, okay, what are people gonna think of this? Are they gonna make fun of me of like, oh, you think you're gonna be a famous YouTuber, hilarious, and would just think like it was a joke and make fun of me. But eventually, through thinking about it for a long time and wanting to try to do it, and really with Wesley's support, he was like, if you want to do it, do it. Like, don't care what other people think, in a way, which is easier said than done. But I think it also helped that I was, I don't know, 26 or 27 at the time. So I feel like that's the age, late 20s, early 30s, when a lot of people start to, I don't want to say stop caring what other people think about them. It's not that, like, it's not like a reputation type thing, but it's just more of a confidence in who you are and, you know, believing in yourself type thing, I guess is what I would call it. So that made me want to start my channel. And yeah, so I just did it. Question number 3 is, what is my channel about? do I stay to one niche or do I cover a few? So for the most part, I do beauty content and stick to that, but I also do mix in some kind of like vlog content. I haven't done one in a while since the Renaissance Fair, so I'm probably gonna do another one soon. And every once in a while I've done some lifestyle stuff. I haven't done a lot of lifestyle just because it's hard during the school year, guys. I like don't have a life, so there's not a lot of lifestyle to show you. But if there's ever something specifically that you are interested in seeing, let me know. I'm happy to take suggestions, but I do usually just stay in that niche. And then in the summertime, I have a lot more of a life or time to do that kind of stuff, like branch out into those other subcategories. But I would say stay in the beauty / lifestyle category on my channel. So the next one is, did you always know YouTube would be a side gig, or did you or do you ever want to be a full-time YouTuber? So I think YouTube's one of those things where it's like, you shouldn't start it expecting that you're gonna become rich and famous. Like, I think that's kind of, I don't want to say foolish, delusional maybe, like unrealistic. So I think if you're gonna start it, you need to just be doing it because you want to do it for fun. And if something happens, great, something happens. But you know, like I said, I've done this for 2.5 years now, and at this point, I'm still just doing it for fun. Now, would I want it to ever be full-time? From what I understand from other people that I watch that try to do this full-time, it's a challenge to make a full-time salary just on YouTube. Like, they have to diversify their platforms and they have to put out content on a schedule on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on possibly Facebook, on YouTube, all of those things at the same time, and they have like a rotating schedule for all of those in order to make up a full income. So I have lately kind of toyed around with the idea of like maybe taking a week or even 2 in the summer and pretending as if social media were my full-time job. I'm not saying just YouTube, but social media in general, because I am on all of those platforms, and just planning and creating and posting that amount of content on all platforms just to see what that workload would feel like, because I've never actually done that much filming or editing all at one time. So I'm not gonna say right now that I would like YouTube to become my full-time job, but I will say I am very interested in what that amount of work would feel like. How many hours would it take me to do that amount of work versus doing a lesser amount of content. I upload 2 videos a week right now. And yeah, seeing what that felt like, to see, do I even want that? Like, am I happy with the amount of work compared to what I'm doing now? Is that something I could see me doing? Because the other thing is, like, I'm not a very good self-starter, and you have to be so self-disciplined with your time and make sure you're actually doing things. It's not like a job that you're clocking into and going to, that you have, you know, somebody above you per se, or a supervisor. So I'd like to see, so I kind of want to trial it this summer once school's out for the year. Like, can I be that dedicated? Can I be that self-motivated? Can I make myself do that? And also, if I do it for a week or 2, do I see a difference in any of my accounts or channel in just doing that for a week or 2? I don't know how long it would take of putting content out at that caliber to actually see a difference in results on your channel as far as growing my channel and all of that sort of thing. So essentially what I'm saying after all that is, I just feel like I'm keeping my options open, you know? I feel like that's a smart thing to do. Question number 5 is, what is your schedule like? When do you film? When do you edit? So when I started this channel, I didn't really have a schedule. And I quickly found that, you know, if you want people to find you and actually watch your videos, you need to have one so people know when they're looking, because not everybody turns their notifications on. So for a long time, I just did one video per week. A couple springs ago in the pandemic, like spring, what would that be? Spring 2020, I think. I started doing 2, I think, videos per week just because I was home, you know, school was canceled and I did have more time to dedicate to doing it. And then when school started back up, I went down to 1 video just because I am so busy at school. I don't just teach during the school day, by the way. I have a lot of like coaching / rehearsal, after school activities, whatever you want to call it, that I run for, depending on the day, possibly another 5 full hours past when the school day ends. So it's not like I have all afternoon and evening to myself to do YouTube. So this is the first year that I was like, okay, I'm going back to school, but I still want to try to do 2 videos a week instead of just 1. And there have been quite a few weeks where I have just epically failed at that. I'm still trying to figure out the balance between doing both of those things successfully. I have learned that it helps me if I can quote unquote stockpile videos. So in other words, you know, plan to always film something every weekend. But if something happens where I get extremely busy or I want to go away for the weekend or it's a holiday or something like that, I have at least 1 or 2 videos already filmed, if not edited and uploaded, ready to go. So it's not the end of the world. So all of my filming is done either on the weekends or like right now it is winter, holiday, Christmas, New Year's, whatever you want to call it, break. So I'm out of school right now and I'm trying to stockpile videos right now, you know, pre-film content essentially, so that when I go back to school and I become busy again and I'm unable to film during that time, I still have content that's been pre-filmed and ready for you all. So I primarily film either on the weekends or when I have a break. A break could mean a holiday, it could mean a snow day. Where I live, it snows and sometimes school is canceled. But that's when I primarily film. Editing is a little bit easier because I usually have at least 1 or 2 different weeknights that I'm home by at least like 4:35. So I can do a little bit more of my editing then, you know, I don't have to worry about the actual filming of it after I've been at work all day. And usually, you know, people might say like get up before work and film then. I know some people do that. First of all, I am not a morning person. Like, I stay in bed until the last possible minute I have to, and I know that about myself. So I already like pack my lunch the night before, pick out my clothes, like do everything that I need so that in the morning I can grab and go. I just know that about myself. So that would be a difficulty for me. Additionally, when I put on makeup for work, it's usually like the bare minimum, right? Like enough to feel put together. I don't do anything really usually artistic when I am doing my makeup for work, not the way I would on my channel. I take more time, I take liberties, I try new things, I try to be artistic and creative. And that would make it take even longer in the morning before work. And sometimes, especially when you're being creative, artistic, taking chances, doing different things don't always go to plan, and sometimes you have to restart or fix it or do all those things that take time that could then possibly cause me to be late to work that I'm not willing to risk. So that's why I film when I film, but I can edit pretty much throughout the week in the evenings if I've got stuff at least pre-filmed on the weekend. It doesn't have to be edited. Have there been times that have been in a pinch and it was like, okay, you have to film an unboxing or something during the week or not have content? Yes, and I've done it, and I'm sure you guys have seen and can tell when I'm wearing makeup that I've already worn for 8 hours and when it's like fresh and looks good. But sometimes, like I said, especially if it's like an unboxing or something, it's not about the makeup I'm wearing. I feel like okay or better about that, but I don't like to do it, and I don't like to feel rushed or like last minute slapping stuff together, because then it's just not quality content. The next question is, how do you keep your YouTube channel organized? Do you plan videos ahead or just film what you feel like? So especially being that I am so busy, I typically plan ahead. Now, I don't necessarily plan what exact video will be on what day, but I in general usually have a list of ideas of things I would like to film. If it's pertinent to a specific sale or launch or release, something like that, then I'll know, okay, I want this to go out on this day so that it makes sense to the viewers and it's, you know, relevant to an event or topic or something like that. But as I said, like sometimes I just try to have more could post at any time videos, kind of like this one, because that helps me a lot when I get busier to be able to just have stuff ready, and it's not gonna be like, oh, this video didn't make sense because you posted it in this order or didn't post it until this date or any of that kind of stuff. But in general, like right now, I've got a list of things I want to film for January. And the other nice thing is if you have a lot of videos that it doesn't matter when exactly they go up, you can easily push things around. So if something comes up that you weren't planning on filming, but all of a sudden, oh, a sale's announced and I have some products from that brand and I could talk about that or do a palette bingo, or that might be interesting to people, I can push other videos around and still do the videos, but in a different order, so that it makes the most sense for you all to watch. I've learned that it's fun to film what I like, but at the same time, I don't like spending a lot of time on a video or concept and editing and all that for it to not be received well. You know, not that it's like, oh, you're doing it for the views, but at the same time, like, if I didn't care about the views to some point, I could just do this makeup off camera. You know, people act like that's a bad thing when people say they care about views, they care about subscribers, whatever. I don't think that's a bad thing for you to care about, because otherwise why would you have a YouTube channel? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess, sure, you could just say you're putting content out there, you don't care how big you grow or how many people watch it, but at the same time, like I said, plenty of people just enjoy makeup and don't put it on the internet. So at least for me, to some point, like, yeah, I don't want to spend that time just for no one to watch it or enjoy it or get anything out of it. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know what's up with this shimmer, but it's not sticking to this glitter primer well at all. Like, it's just staying on my finger. That's very odd. I put the glitter primer down so it would make it pop a little bit more, but I don't know what's going on. This is Game Beauty, the Victory palette. I've only got one other palette before this from the brand, so maybe I'm just not super familiar with how their shimmers work. I don't know. Question number 7 is, how do you feel about sponsored videos on YouTube? Have you or would you ever do one on your channel? So I am obviously a very small channel, right? So I'm not on any brand radars at this point, to my knowledge. Maybe if you follow me on Instagram, but as far as YouTube is concerned, no one is asking me to do a sponsorship at this point. So I basically just have to imagine, if that were to happen, how I would respond. First of all, I feel like, yes, I would do it, but with some stipulations. So I have before, definitely through Instagram, TikTok, other social media apps, had like sketchy brands reach out to me, if that makes sense, where they're like, oh, be an affiliate for us, buy this product and review it and we'll give you an affiliate code. Where it's like, that's not sponsored. First of all, you're offering me like an affiliate code, and also if I have to buy something, you're just like tricking me into being a customer at that point. And there are a couple of those early on I did fall for, and the stuff, if it ever showed up, was typically very chintzy and not something I would ever recommend. Low quality. So I'd have to make sure it was legit first, and I would want to make sure that I at least tested out the products, and I wouldn't be paying for the products. Like, would want them to either send me something to try if it was a brand I had never heard of, if it was beauty product related, or even if it wasn't. I've seen people do like Skillshare or Harry's or something. I would want to try the product or the service first, because nobody wants to recommend, I would hope, something to their viewers that isn't good. Even if you think it's a quick cash grab, ultimately, like, your viewers are gonna know if they trust you and then get it and it's terrible. Oh, they're a liar. I'm not gonna trust them again. And of course, I wouldn't want to do that to anybody because I wouldn't want that happening to me. So hopefully that answer makes sense of like, yes, I would do one, but I would make sure it was a reputable company that had either sent me their products or service to try before I recommended it, or if it was a brand I was already familiar with, like I already bought myself and knew and loved it, then I would love to do a sponsorship with that particular brand on my channel. And I don't feel like that's a bad thing. I don't view it poorly when someone gets a sponsorship. I think like, especially for a lot of small creators, like, oh, I'm so happy for them. They're actually like getting recognized as being a solid professional creator. That's so awesome for them that a brand is willing to work for them. I understand maybe years ago, people made sponsorships seem untrustworthy because they were just taking any sponsorships, period, and taking the money and didn't care if it was good or not when they recommended it. But I don't know. Any influencer that I watch, that I trust, that I have followed their recommendations, I'm generally pretty happy with the product. There's been a couple times that I'm like, what were you talking about? No, it's not good. But for the most part, especially with small brands, indie brands, all that, I'm typically very happy in the purchases I do make and the recommendations I've gotten from the beauty community. So I'm happy when I see people get recognized and get sponsorships. So the last question here is, what do you think is the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time? So I think the pretty easy answer, but also truthful answer, is that the biggest challenge is there's not enough time with working another full-time job to be able to focus as much on YouTube as I would like to. Now that's kind of where the whole idea of like trying it full-time for a week or two, or if I like it even longer in the summer, comes in. Maybe I could figure out a way to juggle 2 full-time jobs. I know there are people out there that do it, but I don't think their mental health is probably that great. Working yourself that hard, getting burnt out, I don't think it's sustainable. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to work 2 full-time jobs. So at this point, yeah, I think that is the biggest challenge, is just not having enough time to dedicate to it part-time. So maybe in the future that will change and I'll get to do a little bit more. So that is all, guys. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about me and my channel and enjoyed just hanging out, seeing me create this little neutral look today. And I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye.